Hi everybody, here's another video. This time we're going to talk about food and using food as medicine. Did you know that food connects the soul to the body? It's true. Anthony told us. First I'm going to go through a list of the foods not to eat. That's mainly what we're going to focus on today, because sometimes it's just as important what you don't eat as what you do eat. So the first thing is corn or corn products. That includes corn syrup, anything with corn in it. It's all GMO contaminated, even if it says organic, because the wind blows the pollen everywhere. So basically you can't find any corn now that's non-GMO. Soy and soy products are the same thing, and that includes tofu, edamame, soy sauce, anything with any kind of soy products in it. Canola oil is really bad. Processed beet sugar, eggs, dairy including cheese, ghee, yogurt, etc., pork, farmed fish, gluten or any grains if you have strep, monosodium glutamate, and there are so many different secret names for MSG, so you got to read your labels. And I'll attach a document to this video, if I can figure out how, that tells you this list. MSG includes natural flavors, artificial sweeteners. Some supplements to avoid are L-carnitine, glandulars, whey protein, fish oil supplements, and iron supplements. So the following terms are what they use for hidden MSG on your labels: glutamate, hydrolyzed, autolyzed, protease, carrageenan, maltodextrin, sodium caseinate, balsamic vinegar, barley malt, malt extract, yeast extract, brewer's yeast, cornstarch, wheat starch, modified food starch, gelatin, textured protein, whey protein, soy protein, broth, bouillon, stock, and seasoning. So that's the list. And now I'm going to get down to why some of these foods are so bad for you. First of all, you want to get organic food if you can. If you can't, it's better to have it than not have it. And either way, it's always a good idea to wash your produce in warm, soapy water. Even the stuff that you're not going to eat the peel on, because there can be stuff on the outside of the peel, and when you cut it with the knife, it's going to go right down to the part where you're going to eat. If it's not organic, you can peel it. If you think you've been exposed to pesticides, you can eat a lot of cilantro, and that'll help. Anthony also has an anti-pesticide tea. So the foods that are okay, if they're not organic, according to Anthony William, are avocados, papayas, mangoes, and lemons. The foods you only want to get organic, if you absolutely can, are any kind of leafy greens, berries, except for frozen wild blueberries. Those are okay if they're not organic. Grapes. So what MSG does is it burns out neurotransmitters in the brain. It produces excitotoxins, very hard for the brain. Eggs used to be a very important survival food for us until they started growing bugs on it. In the petri dishes, they used eggs primarily to feed bacteria and viruses, to grow them. And eggs saved our ancestors. If it weren't for eggs, we probably wouldn't be here. So it's a real shame that eggs are no longer any good for us. So as far as meat goes, if you're sick, it'll make you worse. It thickens the blood and it makes it hard for nutrients to get into the cells, and any supplements that you're taking aren't going to get into the cells. Chickens are fed GMO grain, and they're not a real clean option as far as meat goes. And even cows that are grass-fed are not necessarily finished in the pasture and can be fed different things. And the grass that they eat is kind of contaminated too by any pesticides in nearby areas, and also things coming from the air and the sky. The body works better with thinner blood, and all meat contains high amounts of fat, no matter what the package says. Speaking of packages, you want to be really careful when you're handling meat, because even the package can be contaminated with MRSA and C. diff. So use gloves, wash everything very carefully. Don't use the sink to wash your vegetables and your fruit after you've washed meat in the sink, because it's going to be contaminated and you're going to have to clean it up really well. Cutting boards the same. And if you put raw meat on a plate, definitely clean that very well. If you eat meat, don't eat fruit with it, because the fruit's going to want to go down a lot faster than the meat, and it causes digestive issues. If you eat meat, you can eat it with leafy greens, and that'll help it digest. So now I'm going to talk about grains. A lot of people love their grains. I really missed bread for a long time. Some good grains that you can eat are quinoa, which is not a seed, it's a grain, millet, gluten-free oatmeal, and organic short grain rice. Here are some combos that'll help you digest grains better if you'd like to continue eating them. So if you eat grains with celery, celery will help get out the carnitine in the grains. It chelates the grains. Cucumbers balance the acidity of grains. Spinach helps break down amino acids. It also gets out carnitine. Other things you can eat with grains is lettuce, watercress, arugula. Arugula is a tonic for the stomach. It stimulates hydrochloric acid, and it strengthens and amplifies it. Sprouts, parsley, cilantro. Cilantro helps even if you eat inorganic rices. Grains are not good with fish, but quinoa is the best if you want to have something with it. Meat is very bad with grains. Your body can't digest meat and grains at the same time. So now I'll talk a little bit about going out to eat. We all like to go out to eat sometimes, but it can be tricky. But if you know what you're doing, it'll be a lot easier. When you get food at a restaurant, you only want it nice and hot and cooked. So you'd think you'd want to go and order a salad, but really you don't know if the vegetables in the salad may have been washed in the same sink with meat. You don't know if the person who prepared it may have had a cut on their finger or even had some sweat coming off their brow. It's pretty fast and furious in restaurants, in the kitchens, and mistakes are made, and sometimes we can get in big trouble from that. You don't want to eat anything that came from a squeeze bottle at a restaurant. No sauces that are in squeeze bottles. Those are contaminated. Now here's some things you can do when you're at the restaurant to protect yourself. You can squeeze lemons all over everything because it'll kill bacteria and viruses. You can also lightly salt your food, which will also kill things. You can eat raw garlic, You can take oregano capsules. You can eat some thyme. You can have some peppermint tea, some lemon water or some ginger water or tea. So a couple of facts about some of these no foods, as we call them, are that eggs last 12 days after you've eaten an egg. You could have symptoms up to 2 weeks after you've eaten an egg, and you wouldn't be able to trace it back to the egg. The other thing about eggs is they're full of hormones, and those can cause problems with our bodies too. Dairy will last 13 days in our bodies. So you have a piece of cheese, and 2 weeks later you could have inflammation, and you wouldn't be able to trace it back to the source. Something interesting about apple cider vinegar is that if we take it internally, it can mix with the salts, the old salts that are stored in the liver from old Cheetos that you ate or chips. All these salts are toxic, and the liver just has to hold them and store them. And when you mix apple cider vinegar with salt, you get a pickling mixture, and you can actually pickle your liver if you take apple cider vinegar. So about legumes, they're not too bad. But if you have low hydrochloric acid or bile, it can be too much. The fiber is too much. Anthony has a whole bunch of information about protein, so I won't go into that too much. But I'll just hit a couple of highlights. The human body doesn't so much need protein as it needs calories. And we need less with age. In fact, if we take too much protein in as we age, we can get gout. We can also get inflammation, and too much protein can hurt the kidneys. If fruit makes you feel bad, it could be the fat in your liver that's blocking the uptake of the glucose. So try to keep a really low-fat diet. Go as low as you can on fats, and you'll feel a lot better. So in our lifetimes, we have about 80,000 meals. Now I know I wasted a lot of my meals. I ate all sorts of stuff that led up to my illness, and now I'm turning it around, and you can turn it around too. I know you can. If I can do it, you can do it, and it's really important. It's important for you, and it's important for the people around you who love you and care about you and all that you have to give this world. You never know until how healthy you are, how much you have to give, and how much people need you in this world. So I'm really going to try and continue with these videos and help as many people as I can get the word out about this healing information, because I haven't seen anything like it before, and I've been doing it for about 3.5 years now, and I have no doubt that this is the way for the majority of people to heal. This is across the board for everyone. It's not like your friend tells you she tried something and it helped her, and then you try it and you don't feel anything from it. This is across the board. This information helps everyone. And of course, if you need more guided information to help you specifically, you can contact a practitioner, and they can help you get more specific about what you need with supplements. So thank you very much for your time and attention, and I will see you next time. If you have any requests for future video topics, please leave a comment, and I will see you soon.